Hello and welcome to this build video, which is going to be very short and just a guide on a sort of troll PvP build that I made. So what is this PvP build? Well, it's mostly made for the no proc, no CP campaign, but it can be used in basically all content if you want to. So what's the point of this build? Well, we're using Hotline Conqueror. I think everyone knows about this build. What it said, it's one of the most popular sets in the no proc campaign. What it does is it increases the effectiveness of your weapon traits. We combine this with Turok's Pact, which is a set that increases, it sort of adds another infused trait on top of your infused trait, so increases your weapon enchantment. And then we combine that with an infused trait buffed by the Hotline Conquerors, and what you end up with is a massive weapon enchant. And then the weapon enchant that we choose to slot is the weakening enchant. So what do we end up with? We end up with an 806 weakening enchant. So essentially what you can do with this build is just take out a player completely out of the game. Like, they're going to be hitting like an absolute noodle, especially in the no proc, no CP campaign, because in this campaign we don't have powerful assault, we don't have magic courage, we don't have minor courage, we don't have all these buffs. So what this build does is essentially just a massive middle finger to any sort of chat, and that's what I find fun about this build, because most troll builds in PvP are about trolling the casual player, killing as many casual players as possible. Well, this build is the counter to that. So essentially you don't need to be able to play PvP to play this build. All you need to do is identify a very good PvP player, and then you just heavy attack them, and you continue heavy attacking them. And the cooldown on this glyph is only around 2 seconds, because you have Turoks and infused on top of it. So you're essentially just reapplying this. There's no purging this. Like, you'll just reapply it the instant that it's purged. And then what I did was I combined it with an Oaken Soul Ring, because this is the most simple way to make a PvP build, because then you just have to slot one bar and don't feel like I need a back bar. So this is a very standard sort of healing bar for an Oaken Soul build. I also run 5 heavy, because that makes me even more tanky, and then I run 2 light. So it's very, very simple. If you wanted to actually optimize this build, you could run a back bar with the weapon damage enchant, and then you'll be healing for more and so on. There's a lot of optimization that can be made if you actually want to use this for real PvP. I just want to use it for trolling people, so I just run the most simple variation of this build possible. And essentially what you do is that you just keep heavy attacking. You identify a very good player within a keep in Cropsford, farming PvEers or something, and you just keep heavy attacking this guy, and he's not going to be able to do anything. Like, he's just going to be completely out of the game. And that's the whole point of this build. So there are also legit applications, like having this as a counter bomber build. So if someone tries to bomb your group, well, you heavy attack them, they're not going to be able to bomb your group. But mostly it's just going to be a very fun troll build around essentially taking revenge on some of these sweaty PvP players that are going out of their way to sort of farm more casual players. This is sort of your counter, and if you have it, all you need to do is just heavy attack, and you can have several people just heavy attacking with this build if you want to, and just completely ruin someone's day. Like, there's nothing they can do about it. And that was basically it for this video. I hope people pick this build up for the upcoming PvP event. Let's hope we see some funny reactions to this sort of build hitting people.